Welcome to Stressless, the recliner that lets you create your own personal comfort zone. With a smooth reclining glide system that eases your body into the perfect position for total relaxation. Plus full lumbar support and a headrest that adjusts automatically. Stressless. Relax your body, free your mind.
Come, experience Stressless at Inbo Furniture in Cornelius. Thinking of updating your existing countertops? Then call the countertop specialists at Fox Tops All. Fox Tops All is a leading provider of premium custom manufactured countertops which we fabricate to your specs. No matter how large the project, Fox Tops All believes in exemplary customer service from the moment you walk through our doors until the last installed surface meets your satisfaction. Come visit our Mooresville showroom today and see for yourself why Fox Tops All.
Hi, I'm Bill Rosinski. I love cigars, and when I buy cigars, I get them at Charlie's. You absolutely must see the walk-in humidor at Charlie's Cigars. Just the aroma as you walk through it, surrounded by some of the finest handmade cigars from all over the world. Find out why Charlotte's Cigar Society is moving to Charlie's for the very best premium cigar experience. Whether you've been enjoying cigars for years or just beginning to understand what's so special, think outside the box. Think Charlie's Cigars. Hi everybody, I'm Bill Rosinski. Welcome to another edition of Sports Night. We're here at the Sunset Club on South Boulevard in South Charlotte. On the show tonight, we're going to talk baseball, but first, football. When the Panthers were born in 1995, Dom Capers was their head coach. Of course, Jerry Richardson, the owner. A lot has changed over the course of going into their 14th season, but there's been a few constants, and one has been their director of player development. Former Super Bowl champion with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Another year with the Panthers, Donnie Shell. Donnie, great to see you. It's been, what, 14 years now? 15?
I can't believe it. It goes by pretty quickly.
Yeah. How did you land this job? Because a lot of former players get into coaching, they get into broadcasting, they decide to stay in the city where they played, like Pittsburgh, where you won 4 Super Bowls. But you get involved with the Panthers, and I think it was 1994. Before the team even played a game, you were on board as far as player development goes.
Well, I retired in 1987, selling in Columbia, South Carolina. I was in real estate, and doing real estate and also in business. And one of my business partners knew Mark Richardson. Mark Richardson came down at that particular time. He was pitching the PSL concept of purchasing PSLs. And he came by our office and he said he was going to meet at the Chamber of Commerce and well, I'd be interested in coming. I said, well, sure, if you're interested in getting the NFL team. So I was one of the last person to stay for the whole interview. He asked me why. I told him I was interested in having a team in the Carolinas. He said, would you be interested in coming up to Charlotte and signing some autographs on the weekend? So that's where that conversation started, and we started from there.
Tell us about player development, because we know the athletes, they go through high school, college, they're drafted, but there's a lot they don't know about the real world sometimes. And your role is really to get them ready for the money that they're starting to make as a professional and for what lies ahead when their pro career comes to an end.
Well, I'll tell people what I do, and then they kind of stare at me. So I think the easiest way that I came up to define my position, I'm a coach off the field for the players, in developing them and helping them while they're here, and also when they transition out of the National Football League. And that being, if you haven't gotten your degree, you can get your degree. If you have, you can go and get your master's degree. You can do an internship to decide what you want to do in the future. You can do a broadcast internship. You might want to be a broadcaster. So there's a lot of different things that we're doing with the Panthers that are very exciting and intriguing for the players. Yeah,
I know some players have done internships with Sue Myrick, for example, going to Washington, D.C. I remember Dwight Stone. He wanted to be an FBI guy. He interned for a while, and guess what? He was a policeman.
Yeah, well, and also this keeps our players in the city and in the community of Charlottesville. And Dwight did become a policeman here. Mike Skurlock is AD down in South Carolina. Mm-hmm. And just a number of players have gone on to do a lot of different things. Mike Rucker just retired. He owns his own real estate business, and he's getting ready to transition into life after sports.
Yeah, just to give you some example of what Donnie's involved in: financial education, family assistance, career internships, as we just talked about, continuing education, making sure if you didn't get the college degree, you go ahead and get it. And Donnie's been so good at this that they have an award now in the National Football League, and your name is the Winston Shell Award, given to the NFL executive in your position who has the most outstanding program each year. That's quite an honor to have your name tacked onto that.
Well, yeah, my name is attached to it, but it's the Panthers. It's what we do as an organization, and we get a lot of support starting at the top with Mr. Richardson and Marty and Coach Fox. All understand about the players and providing for their families. We got some very interesting things coming up this year. Matter of fact, we're going to take all our rookies to the Hall of Fame, to visit the Hall of Fame to see the history of the game. We have some communication seminars set for them. We have one program that's been adopted by the National Football League Player Development Department, our Career Business Internship Luncheon, which we have in December, and we're partnering with about 20 or 25 local companies here in Charlotte.
You know, and I know you have this thing for if they want to get into broadcasting, it's really interesting because people think this is so easy. It's funny because I remember the first time you had it, I was helping, we were doing some play-by-play, and all of a sudden these guys were like going, how did you do that? It's not as easy as it looks when you're sitting at home and watching it on TV.
It really not, and that's why we're having it. We got 4 players that's interested in doing that this year, and I think Eugene Robinson came out of that part of that. Chuck Smith now has his own TV, doing TV in Atlanta, and we have about 3 or 4 players going to participate this year, so we're excited about that.
Did you ever think about this when you retired? You got into real estate. Did you ever think you'd be in this role for this long?
No, not really. But this is kind of my passion. This is what I like to do. I get excited by coming to work every day. I don't have a boring day at work because you deal with people and you deal with their lives. And for us, it's kind of like an educator. You plant seeds, and you may see something come up now or later. But I get excited when a player like Mike Rucker and Mike Mentor come through our programs, and they're going on to be successful off the football field.
I want to talk a little bit about your career. Of course, Donnie had a great career in the National Football League. You won 4 Super Bowls with the Pittsburgh Steelers. It doesn't seem to me like it was that long ago, maybe not to you, but it really was. When you watch what New England was doing here, and everybody likes to make comparisons. I think the Steelers were the team of the 70s, and you go maybe the 49ers and the Cowboys of the early 90s, and now New England. What did you think of what the Patriots accomplished? And could your Steeler team, how would those Steeler teams have matched up against Tom Brady and company?
He'd been sacked a lot like he was in the Super Bowl with the likes of Joe Green, L.C. Green on the outside. But they've done a phenomenal job. I think Coach Belichick has done an outstanding job in keeping that team together. And it's intriguing for me, him being a defensive coach and me watching him, and he keeps plugging guys in and plugging guys in. So he evidently has a great system, and they've done an outstanding job over the last 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and the whole Steeler organization, I imagine you keep tabs, look at the highlights every Sunday night, and how's the old team doing. And that organization with the Rooney family, they've been really a model for anyone who wants to put a franchise together. And they went through some down years, but they've been a pretty consistent franchise for a long time.
Yeah, they are. Matter of fact, I was up there a couple weeks ago at Mel Blunt's roast and a fundraiser for his youth home, and I saw a lot of the former guys and were there, and we shared stories, and they get better as you get older, Bill. But the thing about it, I think Mr. Richards is trying to emulate the Rooney family and the Steelers and what they did up there back in the early 70s. And a lot of people don't know they're a very family-oriented organization. And that's what we are here with the Carolina Panthers. We care more about the players than just on the football field. We care about the entire family. Was there a person like you with the Steelers when you came into the National Football League? There were not, and neither was this position. It was instituted in 1991, but what we had was veteran players would take rookie players under their wing and kind of teach them the ropes, kind of what I'm doing, and take you through the different scenarios of being a professional football player. And especially it was very helpful when you had a West Coast trip. You could stay 3 or 4 hours with them, and they'll tell you the nuances of being a professional football player.
All right, now you've got some new rookies are going to be arriving. Some have already come into town for their little press conferences, but you've got a mini camp coming up, and then they'll be here for some of the June workouts. Then they get to training camp. What do you talk with them about? What's the first thing that you try to impress upon a rookie in the National Football League from the position that you're in with the organization?
Well, I have opportunities to share about what I do. I try not to grab them the first time that they're here. I get them when they come back in June. But just to introduce myself, give them a card, my cell phone number is on there, and all my email, all my information is on there. Just to let them know about who I am and what I do, and the programs that are being offered here through the Carolina Panthers in the organization. I think, too, I was talking to one of the parents of one of our players about 2 weeks ago, and she was very appalled about what we do in my position. And she was a little apprehensive, but after I explained my position and what I do, and I told her I'm just like a father away from home for the players, and she felt very comfortable. So I know they head to swim with a lot of different things, and they try to learn the programs and the books and where to go to meetings. So I'm kind of low-key, give them a little card, introduce myself, tell them about what's coming up for them in May, and we have a bunch of seminars already prepared for them. Is there a big thing you see from these rookie classes come through? Is there one thing that stands out? Are they worried about the financial thing because they got all this money, or do they have advisors for that? Is it that they haven't really planned ahead? I mean, this career could end like that. And then what do you do? What's the thing that sticks out the most to you about these guys? I think the number one thing is that's on their mind is making the team. So I don't want to come to them and tell, well, hey, you got to prepare for life after sports. They're trying to prepare for life right now. But I think they have advisors to advise them. And what our financial program does, we bring a educator in from university, Queen's University, will come in and teach our financial seminars and teach them about finances, about budgeting, about having a will and that sort of thing. But their primary responsibilities is to make the team in the organization, and then through that, I'm allowed to share with them about what I do.
I got to get your opinion about this football team, because I see you watch the practices, and I know you guide these guys off the field, but I know you've got a keen eye for what's going on the field. John Beeson's going to be the leader of this defense, I think, this year. Mike Rucker retires. I think you need to get something more out of Julius. He didn't really have a good year last year. Talk about this Panther defense. You've got some new faces coming in. How good do you think they can be this year?
I think they can be good as they want to be, and I think our players want to be the best in the National Football League. Like you said, John Beeson is a great leader. He has a year on his belt, and I think he's going to get a lot more respect from our players. I'm glad that we got Muhsin Muhammad back. He's going to be another great leader for us. But I think this defense can be good. And for the naysayers about Julius Peppers out there, he's the same guy that had a lot of different sacks. He's the same guy who intercepted the ball, went 90-some yards against Denver, and done a lot of incredible things. That talent and ability is still there. And I think you see him rise to the occasion and lead us on defense again.
Hard to believe it's going to be the 14th season for the Panthers. Of the previous 13, was there a season that you look back on and go, we'll forget about 1-15. we won't talk about 1-15. But I think back to '96 and what that group accomplished in just their second year. Obviously, the Super Bowl run and losing to New England. Is there a season that stands out to you, or you enjoyed it from start to finish?
I really did. Like the '96 team, they really stood out, the second team. We went up against Green Bay for the NFC Championship game in our second year. They accomplished a great deal, but no one expected us to do anything. And the Super Bowl run, no one expected us to do anything. And we put it together, kind of struggled here and there, and got confidence in the playoffs, and went all the way to the Super Bowl and had an opportunity to win that game. Those are the things that stand out to me. And Coach Fox's tenure since he's been here was 1-15. He inherited that team, and to take it all the way to the Super Bowl, I think he's done an outstanding job.
All right, now speaking of the Super Bowl, you got a few rings. Do these young guys that come in have any idea who Donnie Shell was or what you accomplished on the football field?
I don't know until I sit down and talk to them one-on-one. Then I find out kind of what their history is, and that's why we're taking the rookies to the NFL Hall of Fame up in Canton. But I just introduce myself as Donnie Shell. I don't say Donnie Shell, former player, Steelers 4 Super Bowl rings. I want them to get to know me as a person, because those kids, I can be their dads. They don't remember when I played. But the important thing is to know, for them to know, is they got a person here who cares about them and their families.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show. This has been great. Always good seeing you. You're running a great program. Congratulations on it. Continued success, and good luck to the team this year.
Thank you very much, Bill. Enjoyed being here.
Donnie Shell, former Pittsburgh Steeler, Super Bowl champion, and the player development director for the Carolina Panthers. More to come on Sports Night. Stay right there.
Sports Night is brought to you by Inbo Furniture, Scandinavian and contemporary design. Fox Tops All, the countertop specialist. Visit our Mooresville showroom today and ask about our starting line selections. Charlie's Premium Cigars. For your next cigar experience, think outside the box. Think Charlie's Cigars. And by the Sunset Club.
Hi, I'm Bill Rosinski. I love cigars, and when I buy cigars, I get them at Charlie's. You absolutely must see the walk-in humidor at Charlie's Cigars. Just the aroma as you walk through it, surrounded by some of the finest handmade cigars from all over the world. Find out why Charlotte's Cigar Society is moving to Charlie's for the very best premium cigar experience. Whether you've been enjoying cigars for years or just beginning to understand what's so special, think outside the box. Think Charlie's Cigars.
Thinking of updating your existing countertops? Then call the countertop specialists at Fox Tops All. Fox Tops All is a leading provider of premium custom manufactured countertops, which we fabricate to your specs.